we're here with the senior nomads, Michael and Debbie Campbell. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
It started 3.5 years ago. We're from Seattle, and we decided to kind of just sell everything, stop working, and start traveling, kind of seeing if we could live our retirement in other people's homes.
And how did you begin plotting out this journey?
We have a daughter that lives in Paris. She was home for Christmas a few years ago, just before we left, so 2013, and asked if we'd ever heard of Airbnb, and we hadn't. And she showed us the website, and we started to understand that we could live in houses anywhere in the world fairly affordably. So then we just started plotting where we'd like to go.
So to this point, you've been to 56 countries and 125 Airbnbs. Like, what are some of the highlights?
Wow, we've had some great highlights. We've stayed in small Parisian apartments and massive places in Athens and a farmhouse and
We've been from Cuba to Mexico to Moscow, St. Petersburg, but the hosts are really the glue. That's the special sauce.
Yeah.
They're the ones that really deliver the hospitality and make us feel welcome.
Yeah.
And what are some tips to finding a great host and a great place to stay?
Collaboration, flexibility. You picked that one, so we're no, I picked this one.
No, we picked them together.
Yeah, we do.
I think reading the reviews really carefully, reading between the lines, and then looking at the photos really carefully, because sometimes the photos are, it's hard to figure out where rooms are, or is that a mirror, or where's the kitchen? And
But we've got it pretty figured out, and we wrote this little book, and there's how to find an Airbnb in here. That's the way we do it.
Where haven't you been that you'd like to go?
We're just getting ready to head out again.
I think New Zealand, Australia is a great starting place. We haven't gone to Southeast Asia yet, and quite frankly, I'm not sure how committed we are to that.
We're going
Yeah,
to
New Zealand. Yeah, there you go.
What is the cadence of your travels? Do you try to go every few weeks, or how do you plan when you go?
We started out thinking we'd do 2 weeks at a time, but it's gotten down to about 10 days. And we kind of, we're both really interested in current news, so we kind of let the news drive us, and we end up in places where current events are taking place or have taken place in the last 20 or 30 years, so we're just going to move around that way.
And how do you document your travels?
Well, again, there's a book, but we keep a daily journal, and we write down everything we did that day and tape in every receipt, and so we total up what we spend every single day, which is painful but also fascinating.
And then we also have a blog,
Sure.
which we started right at the beginning. Debbie writes almost all of them. Occasionally I'm a guest author. She's the better writer in the family. But I think together we've written, 110 different blog posts.
What's the blog called?
seniornomads.blogspot.com, and if you just Google Senior Nomads anymore, you'll find all kinds of criminal activity.
So speaking of receipts, what kind of advice would you give to people without unlimited funds on how to kind of get in on your lifestyle?
So first we should say we don't have unlimited funds. We have a budget, and we really need to be careful on what we spend every day and for each Airbnb. I think there's many levels you can do this. So how about couch surfing kind of down here? Getting a room in a house through Airbnb or whatever sharing place you want to use, and then having the whole place, the whole apartment, the flat. And within that, of course, you can spend a little or a lot.
Right.
So I think there's room for lots of different budgets.
What have you learned from your travels?
We have learned to be brave, for one thing, try new things, be flexible. Really, that's really one of the main things. We've learned that we can spend a lot of time together, 24 hours a day, which is very nice. We've been married 38 years.
Congratulations.
I think patience.
Just curiosity. It's just been great. And I think one of the biggest things is we've learned to live without stuff. We have 2 suitcases, and we don't buy anything. If you can't eat it or drink it or ride on it or attend it, we don't need it. So that's been really freeing, really.
Do you miss
nice.
your stuff ever?
Oh, I pet it in the storage unit when we come home. We kind of open it and look at it and say, what's in that box? Anyway, some of it, but not really, not very much of it.
We got rid of just almost everything.
Well, we sold our house, sold our boat, sold our car, sold most everything we owned, yeah.
Did you have any fear while you were doing that?
I think you can always acquire more things.
Yes, that's what Michael kept saying, we can get another couch. And I was like, that's true, you probably can.
Good point. Well, let's talk about some of your food experiences. Which ones stand out in your mind, and what's one thing you think everyone should try in their lifetime if they could?
Well, we cook most of our meals in. It goes back to affording this trip.
Yes.
So I love to shop in the local markets. It's fascinating to just look at the shelves and see what there is. I try to do some research ahead of time about local cuisine and get some ideas for what I might make. I think you should always try one national specialty, of course, whenever you can. And
I think you should always eat a doner or a kebab, whatever word is, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Wherever you see one. Yeah,
Well,
and the
he
last thing is you should have gelato whenever it's like in the morning, lunch, afternoon.
Yep, absolutely.
Gelato for breakfast.
Yeah.
And where are you off to next?
Well, that's what we're just thinking about. So probably New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah. Back home to Seattle for Christmas.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, house sitting for 6 weeks, and then probably off to New Zealand.
Wonderful. Do you have any parting words of wisdom?
Don't wait. You can do this at any age, at any time, at any scale. Airbnb makes it so interesting because you can meet new people and experience new things, especially the things they just launched yesterday, the experience aspect of what they're doing. And I just think it's a great way to become a world citizen.
Great.
Mia, thank you.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Wonderful to meet you.
Okay, bye-bye.